Hey, Roland Mann here of Silverline Comics. I just wanted to take a minute to sing the praises of Fund My Comic. I'll tell you, we have done about 30 crowdfunders, most of them on Kickstarter, a couple of them on Indiegogo. But one of the things that I love so much about Fund My Comic is the fact that you can get help immediately. We had not issues, not problems, but I had questions. How can I do this? How can I do that? Cause it's, it's a new platform. And Luke responded to me almost like that, pretty quickly. And that's one of the things that I absolutely love about Fund My Comic. I feel like there's a real person behind the screen there that cares about me, cares about my product, cares about what I'm trying to accomplish, and is there to help and assist me when I have questions, even if they're silly. I absolutely love that about Fund My Comic.
In the middle of the night or early Friday morning, depending upon where you are in the world, a group of experienced comics professionals get together to examine and instruct about the art form that they love. That's great comic artwork on Comics by Night, Fridays at 5 a.m. Eastern, here on the Indie Comics Network, indiecomicsnetwork.com.
What was that? This is not a charade.
Holy shit. That is the craziest thing I have ever seen. And I'm Dennis Quaid, and Dennis Quaid has seen some shit.
a beautiful day
What a crowd.
for a little bit of bacon.
What a
For a
crowd.
little bit of bacon. Man, I'll tell you, it's, can you believe it's 119 episodes? 119 times we have gone upon the airwaves to share our particular brand of geekdom and nerddom with the world. I'm looking forward to 119 more. I think it's going to be a good time. Today, we have a pretty good show lined up for you. We're going to have Daniel P. Riley showing up today. He's got a new book called Jessadai. I can't. Yesadai. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it starts with a J. It's got swords in it.
It's a great
Yeah,
book.
that's all I
It's
know.
cool. It's a great looking book.
The great property
Uh,
of fundmycomic.com.
Great property.
Yep.
So he's going to be on today. We're going to talk with him, get his input with some things. Did you see what StreamYard did to the video for Roland? It was like this,
Yeah.
and it stretched it out.
Stretched his
And
face
I was
out.
like, oh my gosh, what happened there? So I'm going to have to work on getting that fixed.
Aspect ratio, I believe that's
'Cause
called.
that's not how Roland looks.
Gave him a Brazilian. That's what it is.
You're right. Is that what that means? Is that what
No,
is that what
not
we're calling
really.
that now?
It's like in Brazil.
So-
They stretch the face out.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, wow. Yeah, so good. We're going to talk also a little bit. There's some secrets. Things are changing in the social media world. Again, some different things happening. Pretty big news yesterday out of from Elon. I think
Elon.
can impact some of how we do things. But we're going to talk about the how we've adapted as comic book storytellers, as sequential storytellers. Let's put it that way. Over the eons, and and how the medium is ever changing, and how the impact of the world around us has changed our approaches. So we're going to talk about that. I know that sounds very deep and meta, but trust me, it's coming from me, so it won't be.
But it's not.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, what a weird week on the news, by the way. Everybody's talking about this Caitlin Clark. Have you seen this?
I'm not.
It's,
I'm not. Who's Caitlin Clark?
Yeah, we tried to ignore it.
She's a basketball player.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So in college, so there's a guy named Pistol Pete, and he set like the record for, he set a few records, and he held this one record for a very long time. And no one had come, people had come close, but no one broke it. And here comes this
What's
this
the record
college,
for?
like shots made, 3-pointers, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And so here comes Caitlin, and she breaks his record, like handsomely breaks the record, and that's when I started following her career. Like
They're saying she can shoot 3-pointers from the middle of the court.
she does. She shoots logo threes and makes them
Yes.
in the game. In the game, she's an insane ball player. She is definitely going to change women's basketball, maybe basketball in general, forever. It's going to be the game before and after Caitlin.
And she is a woman. You're not going to tell me that.
That was going to be my question.
That is
She-
the word.
she is a
yes.
woman.
Yes.
She is a woman, yeah. Some people think she's pretty. I don't really think she's super attractive, but she is a woman. She is a woman.
She speaks very highly of you, Luke.
Oh, we have a super chat this morning.
There you
Very
are.
highly
He says,
of me.
moving on.
Man,
Over
you
that
get
one.
me with that stuff. We
Moving
gotta make the
along.
bird dance. The Holocron Record says, hello, lads. I hope you're having an extra crispy morning, except for Luke. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
And I say it in my best Willy Wonka.
I was going to say, you've been wonked.
I have been wonked.
I'll keep that quiet.
The Holocron is the writer for this book I'm working on. Hey, let me know in the chat if it's okay if I show off some pages. Please, let me know. If it is, I will show off a couple pages
I think you should.
of what I've been working on.
It's your show.
Well, I want to let the writer know a Like the writer should.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
It's
Okay.
his work, you know. It's his work.
fair.
It's early
It's work
afternoon.
for him,
I'm not woken up yet.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. So we're yeah,
Glenn is still
so anyway,
2 keys behind.
Anyway, she's a real ball player. I'm telling you, she is. She can play. I mean, she's really good, and a lot of the women that come in that are in the league already are not happy that she's getting all of this attention. The games that she goes to. So Indiana is like the second to the last in the league right now. They were the last in the league last year, which is why they were able to get her in the draft pick. So she was a college player. She's gone now to the WNBA, and they are selling out arenas wherever she goes.
Well, that's a change.
They are getting into the
That is
millions
a
of
huge-
viewers.
that's why everybody's
like
jealous.
2 million. Right. Their games are getting 2 million viewers. You know, where they were getting maybe 200,000.
They're actually
before.
getting
I mean,
TV ratings.
So
Yeah, they're getting TV ratings now. They're
Holy
getting
crap.
They're
so
yeah.
they're complaining that she's really good.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
which
and then
is
she's
like saying we've got to ban Paul McCartney because he's better than anybody else.
Yes.
Right.
because
Well,
I think
Well, we have a saying over here. We call that bollocks.
Yes.
I
is
think
bollocks.
people should. It's like saying Jack Kirby can't draw comics because he's the best.
Right, right. Or that you don't like them because they're the best, right? Now, I'll
Well, either
jokingly say that I hate Glenn because he's so good, right? But I don't really hate Glenn. I do. I have the utmost respect for him. But these women are absolutely petty over there. They're going to destroy their league with this crap. Vice versa, right? So I'm watching the NBA Finals. I'm watching the Celtics.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I'm watching. Yeah, it really is. And I'm watching the Celtics take on the Mavs. Right, Game 3, Celtics are killing it. Right, so they get up in Brown. They're interviewing him from the Celtics, and they ask about one of the other guys on the other side of the team, on the other side of the ball, and he is respectful. He's like, man, he was classic. This guy, he was just solid plays. He was, it was fun to play against him. We really had to bring it. Just respect on the opposite side of the ball, where you're not getting that with Caitlin. Like, Caitlin's been hard attacked. She's been cheap shots have been taken at her, and then everyone's trying to diminish her abilities. Right? They're trying to kind of talk down, like, well, she's a rookie. This is a different league. Guys don't talk like that, and I'm like, I realized that last night, and they also dunked the ball, and I'm like, well, that's why they make a lot more money, because they're dunking the ball. Man, it was a fun game last night. If you missed it, wow, especially the end. I mean, it was it was good.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because I know what basketball is, but can you shoot at the other thing from your end, or do you have to get right up close? Do you understand what I mean?
No, you gotta shoot far.
You got to
yeah. If
throw
you
it
can
into the
make
net. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I shoot from under my net?
If
Your
you can
net?
do it,
Yeah, that's
It's
what I'm
been
saying.
done.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
been done, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
been done.
but not in a game.
all I see is a load of people passing the ball. When they get near that semicircle thing, they have a shot. Is that because they can only shoot from there because that's all they can do? They're only good at
No,
that.
but it's because they got to find an open shot,
That's where they can hit.
and you don't always make it. Like, right? So
because
some
of
people,
defending.
some people don't have a long shot. That's what makes Caitlin special.
Yeah,
Because she can shoot from the logo, which is insane.
Right. So it's
I mean,
like-
consistently she does it.
So it's like football. I can score from in my half if
Yes.
I'm good
Yeah.
enough. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. You can score from beyond the half court line if you're good enough.
Yes.
But I mean,
And it's been done before, like a Hail Mary
Yeah.
pass.
Yeah,
The opposing
it's-
team's down by a point, and one
Yeah.
last
Just
ditch
twirl
effort.
it.
The clock's
seems-
about to go out, and they toss it, and it'll go.
I seem to remember about 50 years ago when the Harlem Globetrotters were on tour in England, and those were crazy guys. And he was he was in his own half, and he sort of just flipped it from the back of his head, and he got it in the net.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right. So he's really good then.
Yeah.
Right.
Meadowlark
Yeah.
Lemon.
Meadowlark Lemon.
The Harlem Globetrotters were incredibly trained professionals. I mean, acrobats. They could have taken on regular teams if they wanted to.
Right.
I'm gonna show off a couple of these pages.
And
here.
they teamed
That's
up
what
with
I'm working
Scooby
on.
Doo at one point.
There you are.
They
Yeah, and
did.
had their own Saturday morning cartoon.
I think
for a
they're
little while.
on the Muppets as well, weren't they?
Yeah,
And they got
Mind-
superpowers.
Mind you, I think there was only us four not being on the Muppets. So
yeah.
So this is the book I'm working on for Holocron Record.
I've seen this before.
Yeah, you've seen this. Not a lot of people have seen it. These are the few of the pages. This scene was intense. This was fun. He thought I was going to go a little more gory than what I did,
Oh,
but
Oh,
I
yeah.
decided to keep it more of a shock value than just straight up gore.
wow,
So, I mean, it's pretty
Great lighting.
shocking, right?
yeah.
Thank you.
that's very good.
It took me forever to do that splash page.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for
Yeah.
a horrific scene, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as much as a scene can be, that it really is good.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. And then we flash back into the future, flash forward to the future. Kind of go through this, and here's a little sneak. We're not tell you exactly what's going on, but let's load this page.
That's cool.
Yeah, Splunk. Yeah, that was fun, and this was a fun page to do.
Like the thing.
This was hard. So he
Oh,
has
that's
a habit
nice,
of
man.
writing like 8 panel pages, right? And so I'm like trying to really tell a story while capturing the scope. So I like to do this thing where you go out big and then you come in real tight. So you get the full scope, but then you focus in on the emotion of the moment, right? And try to grab what's going on. So that's what I tried to accomplish here in a very interesting panel format. Hadn't done one like this before. I saw something that made me decide to try it, so I did. I think it turned out good. Maybe it didn't.
Very
Glenn
cool.
can tell me.
No, I'm enjoying it. I'm just listening to it. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, it's good.
Yep. And then again here, this one I actually kind of went opposite of that, close, and then zoomed out to show the scope of this pawn shop that they're in. That I'm trying to keep consistent with the layout. Mm-hmm. Even though I when I first did the first 10 pages, I didn't know I was going to be doing the book, so I don't remember any of it.
I like that bottom panel with the worm's eye view.
Yeah, I like these complex camera angles.
Yeah,
It's they're
It's
they're
hard.
challenging, but
Yeah.
I think it turns out nice. And I like doing the faces. I really like doing faces. This guy's face is fun to draw. And then I'm working on this one. It was done, but I made some choices he didn't care for, so I'm kind of redoing these panels here. And you can look at it now. Do you like it?
yes.
I was going to send this later. The writer, he's in the chat. Do you like these panel choices? Because these 2 panels he had a problem with at the bottom. He didn't like their flow, and so I changed them. And so I still have a lot of background to do here. I'm going to kind of mimic the lighting in this one, where it's like real like dark, and then it kind of draws you down into the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to draw it down. Yeah.
Instead of rendering and showing the guy, why don't you do layouts or roughs to show the angles rather than redraw?
I usually do.
Because you might say, I don't like any of that page. I want it redrawn, and you've wasted
Yeah.
all the hours on it.
I usually do, but it's so quick for me to go from layout to ink. I mean, it's just, I normally find myself kind of doing it without even realizing it. Like it just flows. It just happens. Yeah. Of course, I had a day the other day. Oh, guys, check this out. Have you ever had these kind of days? Let me do this. No? Let me do that. I'm going to bounce this around the screen a bunch until we show up where we need to be. So I had one of these days the other day where I look at a script and I look at the page. I was working on a different book. I look at the script, I look at the page. I got a blank page in front of me. I look back at the script, read it, look back at the screen. typically I'll read the script, I'll look at the page, and I can envision the whole page, and I just start working on it. But I went and I was like, why is there a white page in front of me? So I read the script and I looked at the page. I said, why is there a white page in front of me? Because normally I like see all the lines, and I'm like, what's going on? And yeah, so I that morning I just stepped away from anything art related, and I picked up my dulcimer and started playing. I came back and I came back. I looked at the script, I looked at the page, and the lines were there, and I'm like, great, that worked. Sometimes I have to do that. I don't know if you guys have to do that or not, but
That's Empty Pages by Traffic. Right?
oof.
Song.
I think the empty page is one of the most daunting tasks. I always scribble around it.
You ain't lying.
So it's not. So it's got something on it. Because I don't use pre-printed or screens. You know, as you know, I use artboard and things. So
Yeah.
there's it's in fact like this. I'll show you. This is Daily Rowney artboard that I use, right? And that's what I've got.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I've got.
It's like, what am I?
So
it's like-
what I will do is I'll draw
It's empty.
panels on this because I have to, because there's none on it. If it's going to be a page, and then I'll if I don't get to drawing straight away, which I probably wouldn't do because I'd do roughs first, I'd do doodle in the corners.
Yeah.
Just so that it's not blank, because that's the most intimidating thing I think to an artist.
Oh yeah.
The blank page.
You know, but if there's something on it, even just a mark, just a pencil mark, it's less so because there's something on it. It's not blank. That's what I do.
I hear you. Yeah. I get more intimidated by a blank piece of paper than I do a blank
Yeah.
page on the digital, right? Because I can easily wipe out any mistake that I make digitally. You know,
Yeah.
I get rid of that layer, throw a new layer up. But when I've got that pristine piece of paper in front of me, I'm like, don't mess up, Luke. Don't mess up. Don't mess up, Luke. Don't mess up.
Yeah, but you can't mess up because you just delete it.
And I can't mess up because I just delete it, right? That's what I love. I love that freedom. Glenn, I need that.
I just use this.
I need that in my life. Eraser, I've got one of those too.
Yeah.
That's that
And
white.
I've done my fair share of erasing.
Yeah, the white
White
out,
ink.
opaque.
Now, believe it or not, I actually love doing sketch covers because I love that it's small. I love that I have to work around the title, and I love that and I'll just start
stress
sketching
me
stuff.
out.
If I don't like it, I just erase the whole thing, and I use the erase marks to I'm like, oh wow, that it's like ink blots or something. It makes me think of something else to do, and so yeah, I just have a lot of fun with them for some reason.
Doing sketch covers stresses me out because I'm like, with paper, you could just grab another piece of paper. With a sketch cover, It's like I only have this one.
Yeah, I think
Don't mess it up.
I think that's what I need. I think there's this odd contradiction in me that part of me needs that. Like I need the fact that you can't go back and rethink this, Luke. This is it. And if you do, you've got to work with your mistakes. And that's the story of my life.
Well, that's
Working with
why
my
they
mistakes.
see. To me, when I work traditionally or classically, I think I should call it.
Classically now, yeah.
I do a lot of pencil roughs first to work out those camera angles and the flow and all that kind of thing before I actually start drawing.
Right.
And I find that part an interesting part of it. I find sharpening my pencils an interesting part because while I'm sharpening them, I'm getting full of inspiration to put that lead on the page. Whereas I'm not, despite what people might think, I'm not against people who use the computer for drawing. You use whatever you use. I just like working the way I do because I find the whole thing. I don't mind erasing the pencil afterwards. I find it it's all part of it,
Yeah.
And I just, and it might be like I said to you a few weeks ago. It's how is it quicker for say you, Luke, to undo a line 58 times? Why is that quicker than me getting it right the second time?
Right.
So it's discipline and challenge. That's what I think. That's my opinion. I'm not saying people shouldn't use the whack and pad and all that stuff that you do. That's great. Whatever gets you through the night. But I like that. I like using the pencil. I like sharpening. I like going to the shop and buying pencils. I like buying stuff, and I find that all part of it.
Well, yeah, I enjoy that. I enjoyed that too. but for much different reasons, I think.
Daniel. He's
Daniel
here.
P. Riley, welcome.
Daniel P. Riley.
Whimsyland.org. Our
morning.
special guest today, we're going to be talking about your work that you're doing. We're just kind of musing about art at the moment and those
Daniel,
kind of things. So-
Daniel, I don't know whether you know Daniel, but I think there's a sword behind your head.
And
No,
a bear.
There's a bear.
Yeah, the sword. There's a
Yeah.
sword there.
There's two
There
swords.
are two swords. Yes,
Oh, right,
there's one
right.
very large blade, and then there's a rapier
Wow.
on the other side. Yes,
Wow.
But
Look at
Thus,
this is the
Thus
newest
this-
addition to my collection. It's from
Just in
Lori
case.
Calcaterra's Path of the Pale Rider.
that. Right.
thus,
Thus,
the swords for the secrets, and now, as promised, I have to give you the secrets, right?
Yep.
So here we go. Let me share this screen.
Sizzling
share
bacon
this
in the
window.
background.
I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but X is now, your likes are private. No one can see what you like except for you and the person that you liked.
Oh, is that what that was? It came up on my thing today. I was like, what is this?
Yep,
No
that is
more
how it was.
likes.
Totally didn't even know
Yeah.
that was happening.
So some people are framing this because they recently changed their policies to allow porn.
oh,
But and
Had
the
no idea.
truth of the matter is, yesterday, Gina Carano went to trial against Disney, right? Because of a social media post is why she got fired, right?
Right.
Or whatever. And Elon has backed that up. And so as part of that policy, Elon realizes that people are getting fired because of the things they like. Think about it. There's that gal that works for Eric July that worked for that game company. And she liked something that Ethan liked and that had posted. And she wound up getting fired because of some post she liked a while back. And so people were going through people's like histories, not just what they tweeted or posted, but what they were liking and trying to get them canceled over that.
July
So,
fired her?
No, not July.
Oh.
The other place. And July hired her.
Oh, okay.
Hired her.
Gotcha.
She was like a social media person or whatever.
Gotcha.
And so he did away with the ability to see people's likes.
Good.
Oh, you like that, and I don't like you, so I didn't like them, so now I have to cancel you.
Right.
Stop a
So,
lot of blockchaining.
right. So what do you think will happen as far as engagement goes? Do you think it's going to go up, or do you think it's going to go down?
I
Like
think,
likes and like how people engage
I
things.
think it'll stay the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too.
Who
I don't
cares?
think they'll say the same.
I've never liked anything because 500 other people like it. I like it because I like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if it's a zero, it doesn't make me think, oh, nobody likes it. I won't like it. I just put what I think.
But, okay, well let me show you my side of this. I actively don't like things because I'm concerned that if I liked that, someone would see it and take offense to it, and then therefore think Fund My Comic somehow has a problem with them, and then they would rail against Fund My Comic, the platform,
Well,
and all of the people that
that's
use
a
it.
different thing, and I understand that, and
Right.
I agree with that. That's a different thing.
So now I can like things that I like. So I think that certain posts are going to get more engagement, especially if they're unpopular, right? Before it's like, it's real easy to be anonymous and, tell the guy that's speaking out against the thing that you don't like, hey, you go, buddy. It's easier to be anonymous and do that.
But you're going to be hated, Luke, because you've been so successful with it.
Well,
You are, aren't you?
yeah, and I'm kind of a jerk.
Like we just said about Caitlin, because people don't like it when people are successful, do they? Whatever they do, people just don't like it, and they can't wait to tear you down. And this has been going on forever. This just isn't the internet. This has been going on for 40,000 years. If somebody doesn't like something, there's three other people who are jealous and will do something about it and try and stop it. That's the sad thing. So it's a human thing rather than an internet thing. It's just that we've all got a voice now. You know, everybody. You can. I know what somebody's talking about in the middle of the Philippines if I want to, because they broadcast it. Whereas 20 years ago you wouldn't know. So
Right.
I think it'll stay the same.
It's a good point.
Yeah. Daniel, so what do you think? How do you think it's going to impact engagement?
I kind of agree with Glenn, but I'm hopeful that it will motivate some to conversation instead of just press a button and move on.
Yeah.
Because now that button is no longer visible. I kind of have the slightly different opinion. I believe that there's a lot of poke and flick going on with social media posts where people are just like, oh, I like that thing that person posted, and then they keep scrolling. Whereas now you're almost inspired to make a comment one way or another. And I think that might have been a side point that Elon was going for with this.
So it's more interaction, isn't it?
Yeah, to try and get people to interact with each other instead of the very hollow touch go,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's my hope anyway.
Yeah. That's
we've sort of lost the ability to have discourse these days. And
not sort of. We lost it and it's gone, and I don't think it's coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's coming back until the Great Reset.
Yeah, I have hope. A little bit of hope.
Yeah.
I think if it stops the
that
trolling,
makes one of us.
and if it stops the trolling and these cancel happy idiots out there, even
Well-
one, it's a good thing.
Well, okay, it might stop the trolling. It might increase it, because if you troll and you see that now that other people like it that wouldn't have liked it before because they would have had their name attached to it, now they're anonymous. So now I'm going to like it, and if they see that they're getting more likes, they're going to do more posts and more comments and more tweets like that, right? So it could increase the trolling.
Yeah.
Could have an adverse effect.
I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Because it could, it could energize people. It's a good discussion. It's something to look at and to see what's going to happen.
I think I'm going to have to grow a beard. Everybody on these shows has beards.
We have beards.
So you're all hiding behind your beards.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep mine down.
I'm just hiding an incredibly huge dimple right there.
Speaking of X, I've got a news article for us to read, or a story for us to talk about here for a second.
Where's the beat?
Flava Flav, your boy, meant it when I said I was going to do anything and everything to help Red Lobster and save the Cheddar Bay biscuits. Ordered the whole menu because you heard they're going bankrupt, right? They're closing. Well, now he's their new spokesperson. They're doing Crab Month or whatever, and he's the in the commercials. Yeah, so they've teamed up to try to. But yeah, Flava Flav, man.
Taste the biscuit.
Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
It's Crab Fest.
Crab Fest. No, we can't hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, doing Crab Fest. It's like, yeah, boy, Flava Flav.
Flava Flav says.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
I love Flava Flav. I think that this is cool. That this guy, loves Red Lobster. He's doing something to save a franchise that he loves.
Save the biscuits.
Saving the biscuits, baby. Going to Crab Fest. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him.
I think Gordon Ramsay would tell him he's got too much on his menu.
Yeah, there's too much on the menu there. Man, I remember. So I went out to dinner or lunch one day with a local pastor, and he's like, "Let's go to Red Lobster." I'm like, "Why?" We were in Jacksonville, Florida. No, we were in Jacksonville, Florida, where some of the greatest, fresh seafood is coming straight off of a boat at the pier, right up the. They walk right up the walk, and drop it into the case, and they cook it for me. Some of the best food. This place called Safe Harbor. Oh, some of the best food. Everything was fresh. I mean, you saw that day's catch. And I'm like, why are we going to Red Lobster again? You want to go to Red Lobster? And I'm like, this is not the flex that you think it is. This is not the flex that you think it is. Like, this was imported and probably frozen earlier today. This was on ice. Like, this is not fresh. This is not fresh seafood. But
No.
you know. So if there is there a business or a chain that you guys would want to throw your, if you had star power, throw your star power behind saving?
Marvel.
Only if I could run it. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean. Yeah, that's what I
I'd
mean.
throw everything behind Marvel.
If I had a couple of
DC
million
would
to
be
spare,
Yeah.
if I had a couple of million to spare, I'd want to put it behind Marvel with Randy Zimmerman as editor in chief.
There you go.
I agree. I think that'd
Nice.
be great.
Get a little hourglass, set it on the table, have all the writers come in, tell me a story. And if they couldn't tell me a good one before the hourglass was done, they were out. Done. See ya.
Then I know I would at least be able to clean the toilets there.
Edict number 1, no chat GBT. That's for sure.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You know it's running rampant in those corporate comics.
Yeah.
Sad but true.
Very good. Yeah. Very good.
Sad to
Marvel.
see.
Yeah. Someone's making notes. Safe harbor. Duly noted. Yes. Very good. Whew, very good. There's another place, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a dive. I mean, it's a dive. But the seafood there is equally just good. It's like right on like some swampland. And I think it floats. I don't know. I can't remember. I went once, had some of the best shrimp I've ever had in my life. Yep. Love seafood.
We're a red meat town around here.
Yeah, I love red meat too. I'm a
We
surf
have one
and turf.
We have one Red Lobster, and we have one old, long-standing seafood place out in one of the suburbs that's been there forever that everybody goes to eat good seafood. And it's called Whitey's.
Whitey's.
There was a place out when I lived outside of Austin, Texas. Little joint way off the beaten path called the Good Luck Grill. Their cook, man, he made amazing fried catfish.
Mhm.
I was obsessed. Like once a week, I was in there ordering it.
When the wife was pregnant with my daughter, she had me go up to the north side of Flint. That's a rough side of town, into this one particular shop so that she could get catfish dinner. And they're no longer around, but man, you walk in and all you get is this fish smell and these just brown, yellow tanks all over the place. Just walked in and was like, oh, I didn't know if this was going to be good for her or not, but she loved it.
If there was a franchise I could bring
Okay.
back, it'd be Lee's Famous Recipe.
I'm
I
not
think there's
familiar.
still like one or two left out there.
Maybe.
But they were a competitor with KFC. But they had the best biscuits. They had the best chicken. Everything was good. In fact, my first job that I had, real job clocking in, was at Lee's Famous Recipe.
Okay.
Right down the road from where I lived. Right down the alley. That store got tore down, and then they built an Advanced Auto Parts, and I became the manager of that place.
Oh.
There was a time gap, okay? It wasn't that I, was still there. That's not how
Just
that worked.
You're standing there wondering what you were going to do, and they built the business around you.
Right, yeah.
So you're the manager now.
I'm the manager right now.
Just
That's not.
refused
Yeah.
to leave the plot.
There was, it's like there's one thing leads to another, right? Well, as a writer, it's my job to tell people what thing led to another. But
What you all should do is taste my Indian chicken curry.
oh, I love
But that's good.
curry.
With all the spices, I mix them all up and do the whole thing. I don't get any there's no jars involved or anything. I just mix the whole thing from spices.
Nice.
You should try that.
We're coming over.
The only time I ate
Glenn,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Luke.
Glenn, when you come to the States, let us know what ingredients to buy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
The only time I ate a lot of curry is I married a couple in a Indian restaurant because they
Right.
couldn't get married in their respective houses of worship because they were two diametrically opposed religions, and one wouldn't allow the other one to
Yep.
get married in their place. You know, but
Wow.
holy crap! I was gonna just sneak out after the service because I wasn't interested, but they made me sit, they made me eat, and it was delicious, and everything was orange.
Butter chicken.
Everything was orange. Here's curry salmon. I hate salmon. Eat this. Oh, it was great. Here's curry lamb. I hate lamb.
It's all orange. It's all orange, and it's all
orange.
delicious.
Here, eat this.
I'll tell you what.
It was great.
You put some long grain rice, some curry on some naan. I mean, I'm in seven. Now you got me hungry, Randy. You got me hungry. There's a good Indian restaurant down in Evansville, but nothing local here. I mean, most people here probably never even had curry, right? They barely know what sushi is.
Yeah.
And but
It's like that around here too. Yep. You get a seafood
no,
or
curry
a
is great.
sushi place, it doesn't last very long.
Now I feel fortunate. I've got them in walking distance.
There you are.
Daniel.
To show you how red meat
Jealous.
this town is, both of our Long John Silver's locations both burned down within a 6-month period under very mysterious circumstances.
Oh,
And one of them's been rebuilt since then, and we
You
drive
get that
by,
fish
we're
outta
like,
here.
who's going there? Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, that's crazy.
I didn't even know they
That's
were
crazy.
still around.
They are still around.
The beef
They're still
mafia.
here.
Wow.
Oh, I don't think it was the beef mafia that burned them down. It was probably, it was arson suspicious. So it was probably more for the insurance than for the quality of food.
Yeah.
Can't sell
that.
anything. Burn the place down.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So go to Red Lobster. Check out that.
I'm gonna go out and buy some more.
Okay.
And I think you should too.
Exactly.
I think you should too. So to kind of get more into kind of what our topic is today before we get into interviewing Daniel here, just kind of just a quick thing for us to discuss here is, so I don't know if you've seen, everyone is like this whole Webtoons thing, right? Blew up and was very popular.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're working to try to bring Webtoons
Back.
to print books. So I've kind of got a mixed kind of feeling about this, right? These companies are trying to take Webtoons properties and put them in print rather than take their properties and put them on Webtoons.
Right.
Right? They're trying to bring the audience over rather than go to the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of that just feels awkward to me. It feels counterintuitive. Maybe counterproductive even.
Isn't that rule number one in marketing? Go where the audience is.
Yeah.
Well, that you wouldn't think so today. Chase off as much of your audience as possible. That's pretty much the rule of marketing.
Yeah.
It's working as well.
Working
Now,
real well.
okay.
Yeah.
I know everyone on this panel.
Marketing 101. Flip the bird at all times.
Yeah.
Yes. So Daniel, I mean, I'm assuming that you love print.
I'm not against digital. I've offered digital versions of both of the comics that I have out now, and digital versions of all of my novels as well. So I've never been afraid of digital.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't think that's what I'm getting at. Do you love print?
Personally, if I really love something, yes, I will buy a physical version of it.
Okay. What I mean by love print is I like to smell them. Brian K. Morris likes to lick the spine.
I wouldn't go that far, but I know
I've
what
heard
it
people
means.
do that.
I wouldn't go that far. Like, I love the feel of the pages. Like, I love print, right? But the reason why I love print is because I have an emotional connection to it. Like, I adore a print comic book because it takes me back to those early memories of discovering comics, of discovering these stories in these new worlds and the imagination that it sparked in my own life, right? I have an emotional connection to it. My son has grown up with screens his entire life. He does not have an emotional connection to anything printed.
Right.
He doesn't print off his homework. He has never handwritten a letter. In fact, when I took him to the bank, or he's 13 years old. I mean, intelligent, high grades, high marks in his schools. I've got his marks right here. 99%, 100%, 100%, 97.5%. His worst one is because it's boring, is 91%. Right? I mean, this kid is smart. I took him to get his ID, and I said, "Here, sign it. You got to sign the paper." And he goes, "What?"
Yeah.
And he's like trying to write it, and it looks like a child. I said, "What the hell?" He goes, "I've never had to write my name on anything ever." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm failing you." So we started working on a signature. Like, okay, you've got to be able to write your name to something, right? Because this generation, they don't connect to print like we do. They don't connect to the hard mediums like we do.
That's true.
This is why I'm always going on about the classic way to produce artwork. I can't believe that you're saying that about books, but you don't produce on a piece of paper or board. It's the same thing. I like to feel the pencil on the board. I like to, rub out the lines, and I like all that kind of stuff. The whole thing.
Yeah, same
Well,
here.
I have a tactile feel. We still have a tactile feel. This is an etched screen, and I have a felt tip.
Yeah,
I think so. It feels like paper, and
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't feel like paper at all. It feels like a piece of plastic or a piece of glass or something. It doesn't feel like paper. No,
Getting called out, Luke.
Come on, give me a break. Pretty close. Where do you live? Where do you live?
Not trying
Mars?
to No, I live in the middle of nowhere, where they don't sell Bristol board for 30 miles away.
So
30 miles
what?
I got to go to get Bristol board.
So what?
Yep. Amazon.
Yeah,
Screw
yeah,
Amazon. It takes 3 days for Amazon to get anything to me.
Well, you are.
It used to take one day. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
It's because they have to send it in by mule.
Yeah. They bring it in by Amish. We got the Amish guy coming in. They got a little Amazon sticker on the side of his buggy.
Oh yeah, where was I? I was out on the road. We passed by, I think it was an auction in an Amish community. I've never seen so many horse and carriages in my life, all in one big parking lot. Just crazy to see. Unbelievable.
Dr. Matt says, I'm a print guy. I have digital comics that I've never read, but then again, I have boxes of printed comics that I've never read too.
There you go.
I think a lot of people will back books on crowdfunding and they don't read them.
This is what you need, Luke.
Hang on.
I do love those.
There we are. Yes,
those.
Dr. Martins.
I
That's
do.
what
I
you
want
need.
some of those. Yeah, I saw some at the. I was in.
Yes,
I was in the
these
town
things
over
as
an
well.
hour away.
Get some of those things as well.
Some of those
I've got
things.
those. I've got all that.
Well, use it then.
No,
Just get on with it.
No,
My
Use it.
daughter's very much.
you can't. You can't tell me what to do.
Well, you're missing out.
No, I do it sometimes.
You're missing out selling all that lovely artwork for dollars.
Now that is what I'm missing out on, is selling the artwork, is selling the physicals. But so I do it occasionally. I do a couple. I've got. Oh, it's in the scanner right now. All right, show it to you. But I have a page that I did traditional for the last book that that was up for sale and no one bought it.
Well,
So-
this is one of the when I put the $10 million into Marvel and Randy's in charge. One of the stipulations is that all artwork will be on pieces of Bristol board or artboard or whatever. They will be
Get any
physical.
done.
They will be physical entities that I can hold and see.
We never get any.
Not some stupid file that gets corrupt like yours did the other week when you
You're
lost
gonna
a
have
week's
four-
work.
You're gonna have 4 people that can work
Yep.
for.
Yeah, I'm going to have 4 people, and they'll be the best artists in the world, and all you lot will be going, oh, how do they do this? How do they do that? And it's called just picking up a pencil and drawing and enjoying it and loving it and working hard and accepting the challenge to get it right first time.
What a story, Mark.
Rarely do I have a clip that fits perfect.
that one did. Like Tetris.
I love you, Glenn. So Glenn is coming to the States. I can't wait to meet you in person, man. I'm going to give you the biggest hug.
When are you coming to the States? Bud?
Hopefully end of August.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
It's going to be so nice to not just see you through a screen, man. See you
Yeah.
like 4
You
inches.
won't know who I am. You won't
Just
recognize
4
me.
inches. Just 4 inches. There you
Well, I look
You're a
like
lot
this.
taller than I think.
I look like this, but I won't have these on all this.
There you go.
And bigger.
I'm 6'1".
There you go. Yeah, when I met Randy, I was like, you're taller than I thought you were going to be.
That's exactly what I told Luke too. I said, man, you're a lot taller than I thought you were. Yeah.
People always say, because I always have the camera facing down,
Yeah.
so I look shorter. I look like,
Same.
and when they see me, they're like, holy hell. What happened? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Oh,
Anyway,
so
Daniel's got to go now. He came on for an interview and nobody's spoken to him yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So
don't mind.
what-
I'm used to it.
No, what are your thoughts on trying to bring this, comics, sequential art, storytelling has always adapted to where the audience is. Do you think this is a waste of effort to try to bring this digital fan base to the print medium rather than
Yeah.
going the opposite direction? What do you think?
I think about 75% of it, absolutely, because there's a lot of just garbage out there that, and I'm sorry that came out really harsh, and I probably meant it to be, but so much of that webtoon
Like
stuff
Randy.
just looks like amateur night, and unfortunately, a lot of the newspaper syndicates are pulling their talent off of webtoons instead of looking for actual comic strip artists, and you can tell, and it looks bad. But on the other hand, there is a percentage out there, as with all entertainment, that is just solid gold. I mean, Lore Olympus is just killing it on the book sales chart because it's a great book, it's a solid property, and people love it. And it's not meant, it's not my cup of tea. It's a mythical romance title, but it's selling a lot of books, and that means there's a lot of people that are getting into comics through Lore Olympus, and that's a good thing.
But it also wasn't. So the other thing with Lore Olympus is it didn't translate their digital audience to print. It found a print audience.
Yes.
There was already an audience out there that was going to be interested in that was into manga,
Yeah.
right? So they just went and they put it in bookstores and found a print audience. Some of those people that saw it, that liked webtoons, that liked digital, also you're going to get some crossover.
Yeah.
But there are going to be some very distinct differences there. And I think that's where the success is not trying to bring... I almost feel like their intention is to try to bring over a digital audience to print rather than just try to bring a print audience to these great properties.
Well, it's really an inexpensive way for you to hone your skills. And a lot of those strips, it shows. Is what I'm saying,
Yeah.
from
it
what I've
does.
seen.
Now I'm afraid to let Randy look at my project.
Speaking of
Get
your project,
my
Daniel,
red pen out.
So, Daniel, I think most people are probably going to at least be somewhat familiar with the name. You've been around for a while, doing a lot with the Iron Age thing.
Yep.
That's kind of where I met you. You hang out with Royce quite a bit.
Yes.
And just for those that might be watching, might come across this and are not familiar with Daniel P. Riley, please just tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of how you got into writing and doing comics and those kind of things. I'm going to give you the big screen.
Well, I am Daniel P. Riley. I run whimsyland.org, literary coaching and services. I started that 3 years ago after spending 3 years working on my first trilogy of novels without any assistance. Like, I did the whole thing cold because I couldn't find information anywhere. Internet searches, I'd find books in the library about how to write novels, but like someone that could speak to me and I could say, well, what do you do if this happens? You know, nothing like that when I first started doing it. And eventually, after finishing that trilogy, I looked back at it, I compared notes, and I was like, okay, this is probably not great, but it's my first outing. I expect it to not be great. And then I got on social media finally. It was one of those things where I avoided it like the plague for as long as I possibly could. And then that's where I started seeing people who said, I don't know how to do this. Does anybody know how to do this? Do you have any tips on how to write this way or write this thing? Or how do you overcome writer's block or writing yourself into a corner with your plot, things like that. And I just started answering questions. And in the meantime, I was still writing books because I love writing stories, always have. And eventually it turned into a sustainable business for me, helping people who want to learn how to write using my education background, because I was a teacher for 10 years. Helping people learn how to write and create their books. And then I started doing editing, and that's what I do full time now, with hobby writing as my side gig. I've written in the last 3 years since the business started, I've written just finished my 6th draft. I've got 3 out and 3 that I'm working on producing over the course of this year, and 2 comic books now as well.
Speaking of your comic books, how do you say the name of this one? Is it Jessadai?
It's Jessadai.
Jessadai. See, I would have never gotten there on my own.
Japanese for second generation or next generation.
Okay. So this is your second book on this one, right?
Is the storefront for the first book. So I have a slightly unique system that I'm doing. When I finish a comic, which are in black and white with my artist, I then give it to my colorist, who happens to be my artistically inclined daughter, and she adds accents of color to some parts of each of the panels just to throw a little bit of vibrancy into it. And then I put that out in crowdfund as a ColourPop special edition for fans of the series and people that are interested in that sort of thing, and then use that money to help fund the next comic. I think I put the new one in the link in the private chat. Yeah.
This is the new one. This is your ColourPop.
That's the new one. Yep, that's the new one. You'll see when you scroll down to the pages. ColourPop. Yep. Just a nice bright vibrancy to certain things in each of the pages. Usually it's something to do with the characters. You can see a lot of clothing. Sometimes we do light sparkles. She's really good at finding ways to make color come out of a black and white panel, which I really enjoy. She's a physical artist herself, so she's kind of got an eye for that sort of thing. And after the campaigns are over, the special edition goes away, the variant covers go away, and I have a storefront, which was the previous page, that I sell online, digital and physical versions of the plain black and white comic. I also sell them in stores, and they sell like hotcakes in stores. It's kind of crazy.
Nice. So you've got a very distinct look to your book. It's very manga.
Yes, and I was going for kind of a old school shonen style, but with a little bit more of a crisp drawing technique. And my artist,
it's written in the right direction.
Yes, it's written in a Western format. Yes.
Yeah.
There was an X post where someone said, describe your comic book in the worst way possible. And I said, man tries to make a manga but can't figure out the formatting.
That's pretty good. Yeah. So just introduce us a little bit to the world of Jessadai.
Jisadai.
Jisadai.
Yes. So the idea behind the story is that it is a somewhat dystopian Neo-Tokyo that's become isolationist and run by corrupt corporations. So it's capitalism on crack and all bad. Each of these large corporations have gotten to a point where they're so big in their individual niches that they can't grow anymore. So they've taken to trying to take each other out. And one of the ways to do so is through espionage and assassination. So every corporation has raised over the last 2 decades its own unit of assassins and spies that are highly trained to mess with each other. The most powerful one is Suzakushin Mega Corporation, which runs what's known as Division 8, or in the streets, they're called the Holy Eight. They're the most powerful, most capable killers in this world, and there are 8 of them. The main character there in the black suit, his name is Gabriel. That's his code name. They're all named after archangels, and he has a experimental technology that makes him the most powerful of the 8. But he's been kept in isolation and used as sort of like a biological weapon by the corporation. He has no life. He only leaves to go kill someone and then returns to base. During one of his missions, he comes across a sex trafficked girl, the young lady in the yellow raincoat, and something about her sparks the human spirit in him. It works through all of his conditioning, and he decides to protect her from the people that are trying to drag her back to that brothel, and he takes her home. The company doesn't like that because they want control of their bioweapon, so they decide they're going to eliminate her and have him just return to being what he was. So now he's against his own company and the other 7 killers in his unit in order to keep this girl alive.
So it's got a little bit of a Hitman or John.
You remember it gets
Bourne.
compared a lot to a French film, Leon the Professional.
Oh, I love Leon the Professional.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yep, it gets compared to that a little bit, but with swords and very, very brutal violence.
Yes, swords.
That's cool.
It's got a cool vibe. I like the story idea a lot. So what was the inspiration behind this character? What made you say, this is the character I need to write?
Gabriel formed out of me daydreaming while listening to music. A very specific song by a Japanese visual key artist called Kamui Gakt called Mind Forest. It was like a combination of modern rock and classical instruments, and it was really operatic in style. So, and I just loved the song. The more I listened to it, the more this shadow of a person was forming in my mind, and they would do things. And eventually I started daydreaming about him, mowing through people for some purpose. And of course my mind went, well, what purpose would that be? Why would he do that? So I started to develop this character slowly but surely over time. And eventually the story kind of grew around him for me until I was ready to write originally the story is a series of novellas that I've been working on for a long time now. But way before that, it was just a concept that I write notes about, he did this thing. The idea behind the Suzakushin Holy 8 was in the background. This is kind of a spoiler for people, but the idea for the Suzakushin Holy 8 actually came from the second person to be brought into the Division 8 of Suzakushin. He's called Michael. He's introduced in the second issue, and he was kind of the company's face. He was like a media darling because he was very pretty growing up, and all the ladies, loved looking at him, so they flocked to him. It's a big Japanese culture thing. So he, the man with his
Wait,
back.
that's exclusive to Japanese people?
No, it's just a trope out there that
Oh.
the idea of like J-pop bands, the girls go crazy for the pretty boys. Well, this young man was raised to be a killer, but people were paying attention to him because he was physically beautiful. And eventually he had an accident. Much of his body was replaced by cybernetics, and then his rebirth, when he started to show himself to the public again, all the women went gaga for the pretty guy that survived, and they came up with this odd marketing pitch of him being an angel. And then the Holy Eight concept came from there. So it really had nothing to do with Gabriel. It had to do with Michael.
Very cool. That is actually cool backstory. Do you plan on putting that in the comics at all?
Yeah, if all goes well, yes. Right now, each of the comics will be a 6-issue, and I'm doing like your standard floppy. It's about 32 pages each. 6 issues for a storyline. And if all goes well and people really like to do this stuff, I do have a plan to do a set of comics, like a story run that's solely focused on Michael and sort of explains a little bit more from outside of Gabriel's perspective. So it will be very inside the corporation. So you really see it almost like, I don't know if I hate the show, but it'd be like all the stuff that happens inside of Vought Tower and The Boys.
Oh, okay.
Because in the story, I keep things very focused on what's happening with Gabriel and Hannah and everyone that they meet as they're, fleeing the corporation. So I don't really go into what happens inside the offices.
So do you find that when writing a story that kind of leaning into the character is the better way to go? I see a lot of new comic books, new writers, that their focus seems to be on world building rather than character development. What are your thoughts? Really? Yeah.
I see half and half. Part of my problem with modern stuff now is you either have a writer who's solely focused on setting the world and sort of leaves a bare bones character as their machine for that world, or you have someone who's only focused on the character and it's all about their gender identity or whatever, and it's not about their function within the world around them. So it's almost like most creators nowadays can only do one or the other, and it's rare to find someone who can do both and really make it compelling. I thought that I should keep the narrative as tight as possible in order to focus on the interplay between this attack dog and this young woman who has been through some extremely traumatic things, but still has hope in her heart that life can be better, and how that hope rubs off on him and sort of helps him grow into a fully functioning human being over the course of the story.
See, I like that. I like the play between, the character and the world around us. See, I think in storytelling, and I mean, we've got 5 writers here, so please, other people feel free to.
Makes you invested in the characters.
Right. So
that's what I was hoping for. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I like to. So there's a few things that I think are very, like, constants when you're writing a story. Like, how your main character is going to respond. Like, if you throw a challenge at them, how each character is going to respond to that challenge, right? Mm-hmm. The chaos in it is the world around, because the world has a lot of factors. And so their environment can create opportunities for them to test the boundaries of their standard decision making, right? How they're going to resolve the conflict. Because that's what storytelling really is. It's about a character that has a conflict that needs to be resolved.
Yes.
You know, whether it's, go into White Castle, and getting White Castle. If that's the thing that needs to be resolved, that's conflict needs to be resolved. Or if it's, like the Lord of the Rings, and the resolution is getting the ring into the fires of Mordor, it's still a conflict with a resolution. That's storytelling. Right. And I find that really, especially when you start working with an ensemble, it gets a little more complicated, because you know how each one of those will respond, but then how are those others going to respond to that response? Just take some time watching, observing social media, and you'll figure out how to write those kind of scenarios pretty easily. Randy, you write a lot of whimsical stuff.
See, I knew I liked Randy.
Okay. How do you say? And I'm not trying to pander or blow smoke up your backside, but you are one of the better writers that I've met, especially when it comes to comic book writing.
Thank you.
How do you consider that process of? Is it similar to Daniel's, or?
Just take that boulder and tip it down the hill.
Just do it.
Yep. That's what you got to do. A lot of the, hopefully if you know your character enough, the story writes itself.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the thing.
So you both agree knowing your character is important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think you shouldn't or should avoid introducing something that the character can do halfway through the story to fix the situation you put them in.
Yes, that's true.
Because I think if you start doing that, you're writing a different story.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep.
So don't introduce a way for them to resolve the conflict.
Exactly. Well, no.
Make them find it.
Yes. Don't suddenly have them being able to fly.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't, or
there's a certain level of manipulation that you can do with something like that, but once you cross that line, it becomes absurd and it starts to
There's a name for that, isn't there? It's
yes.
What do they call that? It's
crap writing. They call it
crap writing.
Where you introduce that thing that introduces the next point that progresses the plot, but it's basically like a MacGuffin.
One of the best examples of this that I can. One of the best examples of this in fantasy that I can think of right off the bat is in Wizard of Oz by Frank Baum, where all of these characters are out looking for something. The Tin Man's looking for a heart, Lion's looking for courage, Scarecrow's looking for brains, and yet on the way they get attacked by these lion tiger bears, and Scarecrow figures out a way to get out of it. The Tin Woodsman chops a tree down and they end up jumping over a chasm, and the lion stands there and holds them off while the crew runs across the log, and then he's the last one to cross. And then at the end, after they've all crossed, the lion tiger bears or whatever start crossing on the logs with them. The Tin Man cuts the log off and they go falling into this deep chasm, and the Tin Man feels sorry for him. So what Baum did is he literally telegraphed the fact that all of these characters had what they were looking for right off the bat.
Yeah, right.
That's the kind of telegraphing that you want to do, but you also want to do it in the story structure. You can't just come up and say, "Hi, I'm Yushi. I'm a great swordsman."
Mm-hmm.
You have to show it.
You have to show it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's what this comic is about.
Yeah. Speaking of show it, so this is the cover that I did for you.
Yes.
This is one of my favorite covers that I've done.
It looks really
today.
good.
So here's why I love this cover so much, right? You gave me a prompt, a very clear prompt. You said, I want some kind of reflective thing that shows the past, like him as a kid and him as an adult, that kind of mirrors that. And you use kind of the word mirror. And I was like, ooh, why don't I just use a mirror? And I started thinking about these buildings in Japan that are very, the glass and very reflective. And then I kind of give you a layout idea with this.
Yep.
And then you mentioned, it would really be cool if maybe with the kid, you can see his sensei looming over him, behind him.
Yeah.
And that gave me this idea for the shadow to kind of be over him. And then also not being able to see what is causing the shadow, but he's also looking down, and you can tell that this is a mental reflection, as well as, just a drawing, but the characters having a mental reflection of this looming character over him, but yet he's still in the shadow of his sensei,
Yes.
even as a grown man, right? So it kind of like there's so many different levels, and so when it got me so interested in the story. I got your first book, and it's in a box that is unopened and unread. And so I'm like, I have got to get this. I'm trying to sift through my totes full of crowdfunded comic books that I've purchased and have not even opened yet, because I intend to videotape all the openings. And I'm like, I want to read it now because I'm so interested in this character. That prompt was enough to get... It really identifies the character. I don't care so much about even the rest of the world that you've built. Just knowing that here's this character who is much rougher looking, more weathered than he was as a child. You see how clean he was and how innocent he was. And there's this sensei there he's in the shadow of, and that even as an adult, he's still looming. I related to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we can all relate to that feeling like you're still in the shadow of the things that made you who you are.
Yes.
Powerful.
Very
Just
much
that
so.
one little prompt, man. Good job.
Thank you.
One of the best prompts I've ever gotten for a cover.
It's one of the best covers I've gotten in response. And that's really been my thing. I've been doing concept art. I've spent a ton of money on artists over the years. And I learned that you get unique and interesting perspectives out of artists just by giving them a basic idea and telling them to go. Just prompt and then let them cook. Each one of those variant covers is very different. They all have a very specific style that is incredible, but they came up with them themselves. The one with the sniper, I did the same thing. I said, hey, Sean, what I'm looking for is I want to showcase the sniper character, Sumi, and what I'd like is a reticle target on the girl, Hannah, in the corner. And he's came back with a sketch, and then he goes, I based it off of this, and he pops up this old Spider-Man introduction of the Punisher comic.
Yep.
Right.
And I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking, but I didn't tell him
Perfect
that.
homage,
Yeah, I didn't tell him, go use that cover as your reference. He thought of it himself.
Good artists can do that. And I mean, and again, not to pander or blow smoke, I gave Glenn 2 prompts for some logos, and he came back with the perfect logo designs. Like, it was exactly what I was looking for. A good artist has... okay, I'm just going to be mean, okay? Anybody can use Photoshop.
That's true.
Anybody can learn one of these programs and draw some simple stuff, right? Anyone can learn the skills of taking a ruler on a piece of paper and charting it out and drawing letters on a board. Anybody can do that. But only a talented artist can make it good, can make it spectacular. Because anybody can do the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have an eye for design to make those things attractive. You just have to have it, and it shows. And in all of your work, you can tell You can tell when something was done mechanically, without heart, without vision, without creativity, versus with it. Doesn't matter at what skill level you're working or not. My daughter's boyfriend is an artist, and he's aspiring to be either a comic book artist or an animator. And as much as I would love to try to talk him out of that, I know it's his passion, right? So I won't. So I'm trying to talk him into working harder to get there, because it is a long way. You know what they say? It's like that AC/DC song. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Right. Well, it's a long way to the top if you want to draw comics. It's a long way to the bottom if you want to draw comics. Well, I'll tell you how long it takes to get to the top. I haven't figured that one out yet. But he's got, you could tell in his artwork, he's got this, there's the raw elements of talent, of an eye for design in there that I don't see from a lot of young artists. You know, if I didn't see that, I'd be like, nah, you should probably get a job at Lowe's or something. Crap, like that. It's like, have you thought about banking? You know, your bankers make good money. You know, mortician's assistant, very good job. You know, I'm trying to think of all these other things like pay well.
Not a lie.
Right.
Not a lie. I used to be the assistant to an owner of a bunch of mortuaries. Man makes bank. Whew.
They do. People are always going to die, right? There's 3 industries that will always make money. Well, I guess technically 4. I count 2 of them as one. So alcohol, like people are always going to want to drink because they got to numb the pain, right?
Yep.
The sex industry, because people are always horny. Okay?
True.
They drink because they're sad. They screw because they're horny. People are just sad and horny all the time, right? 2 industries will always make money. The other one is the health industry. I count the health industry, doctors keeping people sick, and death, right? So death technically would be the 4th, but still part of the health industry. If you can do anything with death, you know, or the potential of death, you're going to make money. Doctors, morticians, even people that mow the lawn at the grave sites, they make money.
People who make weapons.
Make good money. Yes, people that make money dealing with death. If you can make an instrument to kill people, you're going to make money.
Yep.
True.
So death. So alcohol, sex, and death. Something to deal with your sadness, something to deal with your horniness, something to deal with killing people and the death of people, and you're going to make money. And what we do as storytellers is we try to combat all of those things with our work. We try to give people another escape outside of those 3 things.
True.
So you don't drink yourself to death, you don't screw yourself to death, and you don't kill yourself to death. Wait. You know what I mean. This t-shirt is really cool, by the way. I love that t-shirt. That's really good. That's really great. These covers are very limited.
That's the first t-shirt there. I made that as a logo for the series and just thought, ooh, this looks really cool as a graphic tee.
I want someone right now to go and flip Daniel the bird, okay? Let's flip him the bird. You guys know what that means. We flipped it at the top of the hour because of the super chat. Thank you. This right here, limited time. I don't know what you're going to wind up using this image for in the future. I'll keep an eye out for it. But you're only going to be able to get this cover for
54
more days.
Yep.
54 more days. Right now, let's wrap a little bacon on this thing. You've only got 3 backers. You are an all or nothing campaign, so you're not going to take any money unless you get your $500. So we've got to get you backers. Guys, you've got to hear from Riley. Riley, I call you Riley, your last name. From Daniel.
All good.
He's a passionate writer. He knows his stuff. He's been doing this for a while. He's kind of giving you the premise of this book and kind of the stuff that's going on in there. So you know you're going to get entertained. The art looks good. All right. 32 pages is not bad. Limited cover. You get that cover from me. Come on. I mean,
I also have one more
pretty darn good
selling
cover.
to add. I don't crowdfund this stuff. The special edition is to generate funds, yes, but I already finished the book. It's all done. It's ready to go. So as soon as the campaign ends, I go directly into fulfillment. You don't wait months
A year
for me to
or
finish
2
the
years?
project and then get it. Yeah, or years for me to finish the project and send it to you. The first one ended, I want to say 3 or 4 months before we started this one. So it was like February, I think. And we were fully fulfilled by the first week of April. Everybody had gotten their books that back
That's
from the
awesome.
first campaign, because I just don't believe in
That's the way to
trying
do
to
it, man.
sell people on an idea. I prefer to sell them on a product that's actually ready to
go.
go.
So we've only got one backer on that cover so far. Guys, let's wrap a little bacon around it. Comic Smellers Anonymous is there for you, Luke. he must be watching from the beginning, just catching up with us. So only one backer so far. Let's get at least one more backer on this book so we can flip the bird, back it, and then pop in the chat. Luke, flip the bird. Flip Riley the bird. This one's for you. And we will make the bird dance. And pick up that cover. That will make me feel better. I need the affirmation of other people
Guys, do
when
it
it
for me.
comes to buying the covers that I draw, right?
It is a beautiful cover too.
I need it.
I need.
I need it. While we do that, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping today, okay? So, don't forget to go to aerocomics.store. Right now, we have got the members access that you can join and get access to blogs that we put up, digital comics, free download comics. At some levels, you get physical comics shipped to you. So I actually got a box that's going out today for one of our new Silver Archer Silver level members. Go over there, check that out. We are also doing this thing called the ICU, which is the Indie Comics Unlimited. It is a newspaper that will be bi-monthly. That's every 2 months. It has nothing to do with its sexuality. Okay. So we are going to be selling ad space in those things to help subsidize the cost of that. But that is as the digital, you get the digital with it every other month. And if you do the physical, you'll get a physical copy of that when it comes out every other month. But we are selling ad space in this. And right now, my boy Phil is going around and he is selling, not selling technically, he is getting commitments from retailers that are going to carry this newspaper. So we're going to have a large audience that this stuff is going to go to, that this content is going to go to. It is completely indie focused. There will be room for prose in there, like people can write short stories. We're going to have comic book pages in there. We're going to have comic strips in there. We're going to have news, uplifting articles. We're going to do creator highlights, retail store highlights. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. It is going to be just a fun way to get stories out there and to help spread the word about what we're doing with comic books and the independent side of the industry. And there are a lot of wonderful people out there, beautiful creators, great stories, things that need to have a highlight on it. And that is what we're going to do. We're doing that through Aero Comics. But you can go, if you know a retailer that's near you and you want them to carry this newspaper, go to them and say, hey, go to ironagedistribution.com and sign up. ironagedistribution.com and sign up for the Indie Comics Unlimited newspaper.
It's free.
It's free for them, right? We're giving this so people can just grab this, off the shelf and be able to be entertained. It benefits everybody. We all get to have some enjoyment, and I think it's going to look good.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Hey, there's
Also,
one.
please also go to lukestonestudios.com. I do have a members section on that platform as well. Why does the video never show up? I'm just going to take that section off. It hates my videos now. But you can go here and check out kind of all my work. I am no longer doing photography and a lot of the other comic stuff that I used to do. We've moved it down to where the only thing I typically do, I've got some coloring. I think I did put lettering up here. I'll still do lettering occasionally. I hate doing it. But we're doing colors and sequential. And I do character design, but the character design now is, I can't have a base fee on that anymore because a base fee was kind of screwing me. And sometimes screwing the creators I'd work with. So sometimes it didn't take me as long as I thought, and the design wasn't as complex as I thought it was going to be. So they paid more than really what they probably should have paid because they just did the base fee, right? And then there's been people that have, had a lot of back and forth with the characters, and they turned out to be way more in depth trying to design that than what was anticipated. But the other thing is, I hold no ownership on these designs. Glenn, Randy, I don't know if you've ever done this, but I was informed that you need to charge more, Luke, for losing because what if that character becomes super popular and you never get a kickback? You don't want to be like Ditko, and like you've got to have some. So I'm trying to rework that whole character design process because I'm not, because I was just green. I was inexperienced with it, and so good thing is I'm learning. I've got guys like Randy and Glenn, and some other people who've been in the industry for a while that know things, and so they help me out. But as you can see, my bread and butter is sequential and doing cover stuff, so like that. Let's see if we've gotten a backer over here. Please. Nope, still at 3. Still at 1. Guys, come on. You're killing me, Smalls. Where is that? Where's what? So I got distracted. Where is that? Well, I just got distracted. I took my meds this morning. Yeah, check out fundmycomic.com right there. Definitely aerocomics.store. Over here, if you have not, check this out. This is so cool. So we recently kind of redid how this looks, which I like, how it's stacked now. But Alice in Chains, brand new book. You can only get it through the website, guys. It's the only place it's available.
Yep.
Only place it's available. I have read this book, obviously. It's killer. Dude, this is a good book. Again, Randy, you know how to tell a comic book story. You got it, man.
Thank you.
You're one of the unsung heroes of this industry. People are sleeping on Randy Zimmerman stories. You shouldn't be sleeping on Randy's stories. This is great. Freshly colored by Patrick Gamma, the guy that I'm working with on Hybrids, the guy that I'm working with on Terminal Kill, the guy that am working with on Call Sign Orion, the guy that I'm working with on, I can't remember what else. We work on a lot of stuff together.
Patrick's currently coloring another book for me at the moment too, and he's knocking that out of the park as well. Completely
Great
different look. Patrick also colored The Fool for me. That's also available here in the store, and did a fantastic job with that as well. This story I'm really proud of. The pencil work is by Abdul Rashid, who's done a little bit of work for Marvel Digital, and the inks, the character creation, the writing, the lettering is all me, and very happy with the end result. The cover here was colored by Eric.
Eric
Hodgson. Yes, Hudson, Eric Hodgson. And he knocked that out of the park as well. The interior work is just as good. Just amazing stuff. Really, really love this book.
Yeah, good stuff. Can only be got here if you buy it. It's shipping out today. You know, today is packaging and shipping day here at the Casa del Stone.
Casa del Stone.
Casa del Stone, yeah. And then also, if you want a fun digital book, Spanx 1 and 2 are both available for digital download for $3 each, or you can become a member for $5.
Those are colored by
You can get those
myself
now.
as well. They were originally out in black and white back in the I think mid 90s. Issue 1 covers Spank going through the day. Issue 2 covers Spank and Shock, his brain dead cousin, as they go to the local strip club. So, and it's kind of the strip club situation as it was back in the early 90s here in Flint.
I know. Oh boy,
it's a well-researched story.
It's like, why has your stripper got a prosthetic leg? Is that her insulin pump?
That's not part of the story, but yes, that could have been. Yeah. It does have the Bob Denver rating system in there, though, where you can acquaint all of the strippers, at least the ones that were in the Flint area at the time, to characters from Gilligan's Island.
Oh, okay.
I like the disclaimer on that.
Yeah, I try to carry that on all the Spank stuff.
It has it contains actual opinions.
Yeah,
actual opinions. Yeah.
Beware.
Welcome past Master Dean. It says the best strippers have prosthetics.
That's a whole different podcast for a whole nother time.
They got more to take off. My humor is so juvenile. It really is. And I make no apologies for it. I make no apologies for it. Yeah, guys, definitely check out Gisaday. Did I say it right that time?
Closer.
Closer.
No, sir.
No, sir, but closer. Definitely check it out. Check out this cover. Or this cover. That's a good cover, too. I also like this cover. This is a pretty good cover.
That's Jose Garcia.
Well, there you go.
He does a lot of really good stuff. He's worked for Cartoon Network and as a artist and animator.
Here's a Jose Garcia cover.
Yep.
That's Jose Garcia right there.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Yep. He's got such a frenetic style. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the Eric Hodson cover. Eric draws very large boobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eric's a good dude.
Eric Ninentowski, such a good artist. Such a good artist. I mean, that dude's... This is a good-looking book. This is a good-looking book right here.
Yeah, it is.
It is, yes.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. Sorry to hijack your promo here, buddy, but...
That's all good.
It just made me think. I was like, yeah, that's a good-looking book. So that's still up there. Yeah. Man, there's a lot of good-looking books on this website. I don't know who started it, but it's a good thing they did.
FunMyComic.com, folks. Anyway, sorry.
Guys,
It's the
look at
only
what-
place I campaign on.
Right. Yeah. Look at how well John Bow over here at John's Long Box is doing on his first comic ever.
Yeah.
Look at that. 4,500, 156 backers.
Yeah.
Already. I mean, that's great. He's got still time to go. So he's well into his like plateau lull area, but he's doing great.
Yep.
He's really passionate about this. So here's another guy like you, Daniel, that's very passionate about storytelling, very passionate about comics, and just, there's no boobs on this cover. No boobs here. Well, there are right there. But he's not selling on that. Like, look, it's selling on, it just shows how many people want good stories and are.
Yep.
Thank you,
Yeah, I'll be
Jeff.
sitting down with John later this month.
Jeff says, G
Hello,
Sedai.
Jeff.
G Sedai.
Right.
G Sedai. All right,
Okay.
so
Postmaster Dan says Gesundheit.
That too.
whenever I try to say any name,
It's about right.
it is about right. Yeah. So, Yeah, but it shows how many people are out there that just want some good old-fashioned storytelling. You know, they're just really interested in those kind of things. Trying to see what else I'm really impressed with. Oh, guys are sleeping on Flip City magazine too, by the way.
Yeah, very much so.
Very so. You got to get on that. I mean, that's crazy. So,
Flip
a lot of
City's
these
so
were,
much fun.
yeah, a lot of these were highlighting some brand new comics that are popping up on the platform because, well, just because that's what we're doing. The Fool is still up here in storefront mode, if that's how you prefer to buy. If not, head on over to
You can get it through the store as
Arrow
well.
Comics.
Yeah.
Head on over to ArrowComics.store. Click on that comics link right there. If you would like to advertise in the Indie Comics Unlimited newspaper, you click over here on ICU Advert. It'll take you to this page. And right here you can do a classified ad. So the classified ads are simple. It runs in our classified section for one issue, which is it's out for 2 months. Minimum of 15 words. First 5 words are free. Each additional word is $1. You may include one image for $5 extra, and that will be invoiced. So you start out with a $10 fee, and you give us 15 words. Any more words than that, or an image, we'll send you an invoice for. That will get put in the newspaper, okay?
And an email is one word.
Yeah, emails and websites are all considered one word. And then you're going to get a 3x2 black and white for, wait, I messed up there. I got to fix that.
Yeah.
Quick.
Quick, it's free. It's free.
$0. Oh, no. I'll fix that as soon as we get off the air. So quarter page black and white's $300. Half page black and white, $5. Full page black and white, $800. And these are big pages, right, Glenn?
It's 11, 17, I think the pages are.
Yeah, it's like a poster. You know, it's a huge ad.
It's big.
Full page inside back cover, $1,000. Full page inside front cover. So as you open it up, that's $1,000. Full page black and white. Full page color back cover. So on the opposite side, so when you lay it down flat, if you want your ad there, that's $1,500. Runs for 2 months. We'll be pushing the papers for 2 months. We're looking at thousands and thousands of copies of this going out and getting in the hands of comic book fans all over the United States. I mean, we're pretty excited about it. So we're still a lot of logistical stuff that we're working on, but we expect the first issue to come out in September. So in the last quarter of the month, September, October is where our plan is for the first issue of this to come out. Where right now we're building up articles and all the other stuff that we need to have to be able to put in and have 3 or 4 issues ready to go. If you're out there somewhere and you run a convention and you would like to have a special convention edition of the paper, please contact us through the website and we'll be happy to facilitate that for you. Okay? Simple as can be. I gotta go fix that. Now that's like, I'm totally distracted. That's all I'm gonna think about. $0. Oh no. Yeah. Or we could just say,
Bud Liquor, our prices have never been lower.
they've never been lower. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful day. Well, you know, I think it's about time for us to move along and get to work. Oh man, I changed the I'm all distracted, guys. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. It does happen. It happens from time to time. Here we go. Check out Jisadai.
There you go.
I got it. I got it, yeah. Yay. I got it.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
Daniel's never going to come on again. We've not spoken to him. We get his title wrong. He's never going to come on again.
Here's the thing. Daniel knows me.
So you let yourself in for it then.
So he kind of knew what he was getting into when he got here.
Oh yeah. Plus, I'm a co-host for Iron Age Nights on Friday nights, so I'm used to this.
There you go.
Yeah. And this has been the ADHD hour and a half for you. Hour and 48. Oh my gosh. We're way over, guys. Sorry about that. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you.
Before you go, Daniel, your artwork looks amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you. I'll pass that along.
That title looks really professional and really good. Folks, you need to pick up that book. Yeah.
The coloring technique's really good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
very
Thank you,
good
guys.
stuff. Yeah, guys, check that out. Check out the all of the great stuff that we've got over there. Fun My Comic. Check out Daniel's website, whimsyland.org. If you're trying to write and you need a coach, if you need a lyrical sensei to come along and help you,
And you'll be in the shadow.
tighten your moves. He's your guy. Yeah, Daniel, thank you for being here today. You're a fantastic guy, a positive figure in the industry that we're working with right now. A great writer, very good storyteller, and you know what? You got a great backdrop too.
Yes.
You look like you're
just missing the pipe.
You just need a pipe, yeah. Yeah, that's all you need.
Yep.
Panel, thanks for being here as usual. I do appreciate you.
Thank
Randy,
you guys for having me.
Glenn, Phil,
Thank you
fantastic
very
guys.
much.
Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the admins for sharing those links. Do appreciate you. Remember, build up more than you tear down. Leave the wood pile at least a little bit higher than what you found it.
Hating ain't creating.
And, hating ain't creating. And
True.
you know what? Let's be careful out there.
Let's be careful out there. Let's be careful out there. We had a 187 at the 7-Eleven on the corner of 4th and Main. 2 Caucasians of the male persuasion put a bullet through the cashier's brain. Moving on, I see it 211, half a dozen 459, 2 ADWs a GTA, and several miscellaneous crimes.